Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. How you doing today? Not fucking good. Not fucking good. Not good at all. That was really bad. I ain't got much to say about it. Honestly, I mean, I do have a lot to say about it, but there's not much else to say except it is shit. It was bad. It was bad. I mean, the first like 20, 25 minutes were strong. United should have run away with the game at that point in time, but beyond that, just collapsed. Just an absolute disaster of a game from that point on. Just really, really poor, really awful. A lot of reasons for it. A lot of reasons for that. Pretty much, but I don't think that, frankly, any team can carry Bruno being in the midfield being as bad as he's been these first two games. I thought he was very bad against Arsenal, and I had a lot of people disagree with that. And you can go look at the stats, and you can do all of that, just like people did against Arsenal, and say he was okay. Bruno was the worst player on the pitch by far. By far. We can say it's a system reason. We can say it's a tactical reason. We can say it's a manager's reason. He's got to sort it out. It's the manager has to sort that out. Ain't no doubt about that. That's his job. Bruno was horrendous. Yesterday we talked about it and it was, 50-50. And now it's a lot worse than 50-50 because that was awful. The big decision upcoming for Amram is dropping Bruno. His head might be turned by Saudi, but he's indisciplined enough for the 8 role. I agree. I completely agree. I would rather watch Ugarte Menu play every single game than see Casemiro and Bruno make it on the pitch again after that. It's shocking. It's unbelievable. It's pure sabotage. It's pure sabotage. And of course, it's on the manager to sort that out. And he's put trust in Bruno to be the captain and to sort it out. And he's not living up to those kind of expectations. Dowler was terrible. I mean, if I look at it from start to finish, you start with a good start to the game. First 15, 20 minutes were very good. Cunha hits the post very early on, should have scored. Cunha misses a chance one-on-one from Bayindir, should have scored. Gets the ball in the box on a few occasions, very well. Then we get a penalty, and Bruno sends it into the stands, and he's bitching at the refs. Grow up, man. You're the captain at Manchester United, and you're complaining about the ref bumping into you, and then you miss your penalty. Like, come on. Grow up. What are you doing? I'm more irritated by the fact that he made such a big fucking deal out of getting bumped by the official that it's like messed up his whole thing, and then he sends the ball into the stands on a penalty. It's a joke. It sucks. It reeks to me of, unfortunately, that he was still complaining. I know he was still complaining. It comes out in the second half. Where is your head? Where is your head? And it wasn't just that. Missing passes constantly, not working in defense, not even trying, not doing anything. And it's on Ruben to not sub the fucking guy off. How do you let him play? Bruno's been a disaster. He was bad in week 1. He's worse in week 2. And he's unfortunately in the engine of the team. And he's having an absolute shocker. It's ridiculous. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating. It's unbelievable. His passes were crap. He wasn't finding the runners. He was losing the ball absurdly. And it's a problem. Still think we'll challenge for top 4. I don't think you win or lose anything in August, but it's starting to get very concerning. No worries. The manager knows best. Well, he's not. He's making mistakes right now. He's responsible for the decisions that he makes. Amram's love affair with Bruno's pissing me off. Why is he so afraid to sub him? Dowler, please get rid of the guy. Bruno's cost us 2 goals in the last 2 games. Didn't track back Smith Rowe. Correct. Correct. Agreed. And that is where it is on the manager. He can't make him score his penalty. You can't make him not just track a runner, the most basic of things. But Bruno is responsible for 3 goals in 2 games. He's responsible for a 3-goal swing in 2 games already. The bad pass back to Yoro against Arsenal, which people kind of seem to pat down, and the missed penalty today, and the goal from Fulham. We still win that game. All things aside, all else aside, right? You take everything else away from it. All else aside, everything else, which we will talk about, everything else we could talk about, you still win this game if Bruno's even mediocre today. All he has to do is score his penalty and probably not do some of the worst defendings on earth. There's a lot of other players and a lot of other performances and a lot of other things to talk about. But it's crazy. It is crazy. It is absurd. I'll talk about Casemiro as well and be like, I was really worried with Casemiro before the game. I said I was concerned about Casemiro in a game where he didn't just get to sit in deep and send the ball into the channels, that he wouldn't be able to keep up with it. He can't keep up with the game. You just can't keep up with the game. Any time that we actually need to get up and down the pitch, Casemiro is done. He was horrendous. It's bad, man. I'm fucking worried today. I am absolutely worried today, beyond concern today, because there's problems that we have. There's problems. And we have to pick it right. And fans don't get it right, by the way, which is why I don't instantly react to it. Ugarte played very well when he came on, by the way. He probably won more tackles and won the ball back more and helped us more than Casemiro and Bruno did over the course of the entire game. The entire game. In a few minutes he came on. He made 3 tackles, 2 clearances, sent a very nice long ball through. People would want to sell him instantly. He's a good player. Had some rough games. We'll see if he can improve, but he needs to start the next game. Shaw cannot work as a left wing back. He's terrible at the back post defending set pieces. Bruno cannot work in the pivot. Dallas so inconsistent. Why weren't Cunha and Mbeumo dropping the midfield in the last 20 minutes? Legs, tiredness for sure. So your view, Casemiro and Fernandes are the problem. It's not it depends how you want to structure that statement. Like, I think the Casemiro and Bruno had a really, really bad game. I had concerns in week 1 that Casemiro would be a mistake, and then he sort of held it together. Week 2, it's a problem. Week 2, it's a problem. This system doesn't suit the team. What system does? What system does? Like, it's not a system reason why Bruno has had a bad game. You can say it is. And like I said, the reason there would be I would sub the player off. If I'm the manager, I would sub the player off immediately. It's not a system reason. A 4-3-3. Oh yeah, that's going to solve it, because we had a 4-3. We had a 3-man midfield under Ten Hag. Wasn't any better. Our midfield was the worst in the league under Ten Hag. It hasn't gotten any better. What if it's just a player problem? Bruno vacates the midfield and also creates easy build-up for the opposition. Mount should have stayed on. Our chemistry and build-up stinks. Maybe Bruno going to Saudi might be for the best. Maybe. Today I feel that way. Maybe the team just stinks, man. Maybe the team just stinks. Maybe they do. We look better than last year? Do we? I'm not sure. In week 1, yes. Week 2, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we look better. Amorim is not a very good coach. 7 wins in 29. Yeah, I mean, the record's certainly not helping here, is it? The record's certainly not helping here. But, the way I look at it is this, right? Have you played? Have I played what? I don't know, James. If we don't ship Bruno to Saudi and dump that money on Baleba or Wharton, Amorim will get sacked before Christmas. He might if that keeps going. He might if that keeps going. That's crazy. Bringing on Dallo, yeah. I mean, for who else, man? We needed a midfielder sub, and Amorim brought on Ugarte. Thank God. Yeah, that was the correct sub. That's not the issue. Balaba got subbed off at halftime today, so I don't know. I'm not gonna. I'm stop acting like Ten Hag didn't set up the midfield wrong. But exactly, it's not just about changing to a 3-man team or something like that. If Mount goes off, we have a poor team. That's scary. That's a bit worrisome. Amorim has all the tendencies. He needs to show his ruthlessness within the game. Mount off, seriously. James, today's game was because of zero control in the midfield. We'll see when you analyze it later. I think that's certainly a factor. Ugarte was definitely the correct sub. That wasn't the issue today. I look at it from start to finish. When I look at it in start to finish, I say that you start the game off and you do really well. You create chances. You're getting on the ball. You should be scoring. You hit the post right off the bat. You miss pretty quickly. You miss on a direct ball from Bayindir. You miss a penalty. That's 3 really shit things, unfortunately, that happened where we should be scoring. Then you have to add to that. Altay was awful, by the way. I mean, absolutely awful. Awful. Cunha should have scored. Bruno should have scored. The game should be over at that point. That being said, even within all of that, Bayindir was absolutely horrendous. Horrendous. Man, do we need a keeper? You can't ignore that. Every single corner, he's flapping at the air. It's crazy. Like, it blows my mind that every single corner he's flapping, losing the ball, giving chances to Fulham. Which was wild, man. I've never seen anything like it. You can't necessarily underrate how much that has an effect on the team. He didn't cost us any points. I mean, I kind of disagree with that because every corner is like going crazy. They're getting chances. They're getting shots on target. They're getting more corners. They're getting all sorts of shit off of the set pieces and corners. That was really bad. Really, really bad. That goalkeeper situation is wild. But when the game started to like, Altay was the only. Yeah, I don't know about. It was a good long ball into Cunha, which he should have scored, by the way, but he was terrible today, Altay, unfortunately. Lamens will come in as a strike, as a starter, almost no doubt about that. That was horrific. That was horrific. Yeah, I mean, when I look at it, I say should have been able to score goals. That's one thing. It's hard to adjudicate for that. Bruno had a disaster. Like I don't think it has anything to do with a 2-man midfield. You can rewatch the game. He's got plenty of moments where Bruno, same as against Arsenal, plenty of moments where Bruno is free, where Bruno has the ball, where Bruno has possession, and he's just giving it away, making shitty passes, going backwards unnecessarily and putting the team under pressure, losing the ball pointlessly, launching it into space, missing the penalty. Like, you can say it's a system thing like that. Maybe it is. We'll see. But even we'll see. You can say that that's the case. I can see it that way. That's fine. I see Casemiro and Bruno being awful out of possession and having absolutely no awareness. And then I also see them losing the ball pretty constantly. If the manager keeps picking that, then it's on him. If the manager keeps doing that, it's on him. If the manager keeps making that, it's on him. You know, if the manager keeps doing that and it doesn't work, it's on him. When you pick things and they don't work, then it's on you. I don't actually blame our goal scoring problems on the manager, though. They have to finish those chances. They have to finish those chances. I hope Wilcox and Vivell look at today's game and realize how badly we need a midfielder. They'll be throwing Emmerman under the bus with Bruno Carte. Nah, I don't necessarily. I mean, we need a midfielder. There's no doubt about that. That's why we wanted Baleba. But frankly, look, I don't know what to say about it, honestly. Like, oops, let's not zoom in like that, camera. Thank you. I just think that, unfortunately, you can say it's a system thing with Bruno and that he's bad because he's in a 2 and all of that. I don't agree. Our midfield was good against Arsenal. Our midfield beat Arsenal's last game, and Bruno was still bad. I saw it then. The set pieces from Bruno were also horrible. You could see, again, I said that last week too. And Mbeumo put in really good balls into the box from set pieces, at least. Bruno's set pieces have been terrible. There's not one thing I think Bruno's actually done well in the first 2 games of the season as the captain, unfortunately. And that really does bother me. And I don't actually think that's a system issue. There are system issues, but good Lord, man. Like, next week isn't an easy win. It's over. It's already toxic. That's for sure. We needed to win today. I see that again. We need to win today. How are we still so far off? Only thought as we lack on-field leadership in games like this. I agree. And my problem I look at is I take Bruno. He's the captain. It's completely unacceptable the way he behaved today. I'm sorry, but it is. It's completely unacceptable. And it has nothing to do with his position. His position is not why he's whining at the referee for 30 minutes about the penalty that he launched into the fucking stands. It's nobody else's fault. It has nothing to do with his position. He needs to be subbed because he's playing like shit, not because of his position. That's the answer. He needs to be subbed because he's playing like shit, not because of his position. His playing slightly deeper in an 8 isn't a reason for him to play that poorly. You know, like, it just isn't. It's wild. Kobe Mainu should have been on for him. He's still talking about it. Like, yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. That's the manager. That's on the manager. But it's like, that's why I said if he keeps picking that, then that's the problem. Then that's the problem. I think that's a big misestimation. This was the worry I had of coming into the summer, right? That playing, I mean, this was the reason. This is what I said the night before the Europa League final, that if we played that midfield, it would be a concern. Yeah, the coach is responsible for subbing Bruno. Exactly. He's responsible as captain to provide leadership on the pitch, and he didn't. That's bad. And you can live and die by those things as a manager, for sure. You absolutely can. Those are the things that can kill you if you get those things wrong. Ruben Amorim has time till November. Enough time in training to get his players playing his way. Create 2 XG on average should be the benchmark. Also, first time Fulham smelled blood was due to goalkeeper. Team got unsettled. Get Lemons and a deep lying playmaker. I wouldn't say you're wrong, obviously. I wouldn't say you're wrong. Bruno was awful before he shifted back to the 8, by the way. And I don't know if anybody recognizes that. Part of the joke of that whole thing. Bruno wasn't good last year either. He played in the 10 to start the year and he was terrible all the way through December. That's why I don't agree with it. The point. In December last year, I was going hard in on Bruno way back then because under Ten Hag to start the season and then under Ruben in the 10, he was bad. He's just been kind of poor for a while, unfortunately. And he had a turnaround for a few months in there in both the 8 and the 10, but he's just been mediocre for quite some time. He was bad last year in the 10 as well. That's why I say it's not about being in the 8 or the 10. He's just been bad. He hasn't been the same since. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, look, I agree that I agree. I think about game states in general, and I say that United were in control of it until they start making these crazy mistakes, and then they hand all the momentum to Fulham. Like after we missed that penalty, Fulham were all over us from that moment on. From that moment on, he was not our best player last year. Not even close was Bruno. Do you not remember him getting sent off 3 times last year? Bruno got sent off. He's had a problem with his mentality for a while now, unfortunately. If you don't remember that, Bruno got sent off 3 times last year in 3 months. He got sent off in Europe, he got sent off against Newcastle, and he got sent off in Tottenham, even if it wasn't that close. He was absolutely not our best player last year. I think people have broken memories on this and are now twisting it. He was good, and he was good from January to like March. He was good from January and to March. 2 of them were not ridiculous. No, he got sent off 3 times in about 6 weeks. 1 was rescinded. It was shit. It was bad. And he was playing terrible up through the end of the year and then turned around. Who was our best player? I don't know. It was very few players because we finished 15th. Maybe it was Lenny Yoro. That was about it. Ahmad maybe when he was healthy. Lenny when he was healthy. Like we didn't have a best player. If you're saying a best player who led us to 15th as captain, then great. I've said everybody was bad last year, but he was not that good. Maybe Maguire, maybe Lenny, maybe Ahmad last year, but it definitely wasn't Bruno. He had about 2 to 3 good months in there, and that was about it. Last year was a disaster. This year's starting off the same way. But yeah, it was shocking. And Dallo giving that ball away for the goal as well is just crazy. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's rough. It was shit. It was shit. I hate how you can see Bruno having an all-time stinker and he still doesn't get subbed. I agree. I completely agree. And people constantly defending him is weird to me too. Like, I'm not going to do the abuse factor or anything like that. That's crazy. It goes too far. Right now we're talking about the game. But I know what I saw today from Bruno, and I watched him put in low effort, low energy, low everything. His defending was poor. It was just shit, man. I don't know. It's very it's really bothersome. Like it genuinely pisses me off because the entire game changes from that moment. I'll show you it here. We can look at it. Hold on. Let me find it. Let's screen share something here. Let's go with this. Let's look at some numbers, by the way, real quick, and then I'll bring some people on, and then we'll call it. I'm not going to spend all day on it today because I'm just annoyed. I don't know how well you guys can see this or not. But if you look at like, this is the momentum chart, which I like to use. Look when we missed the penalty. This is all blue. From that moment on, we lost control of the game. Like completely lost control of it. You can see it. It's a tale of that moment. And I remember watching it when we were watching it in the watch along, we missed the penalty and all the momentum was gone. All the attack was gone. All the impetus was gone. All of the aggression was gone. It just flipped at that moment entirely. And it completely changed. And then Fulham were the better team in the second half. Like, it just completely flipped there. I don't have the running stats today, which I don't understand. Why don't we have running stats? I thought these guys were going to have running stats. And then SofaScore was supposed to have running stats, and then they didn't. I wanted to see the running stats, but we don't see them. You know? To me, it essentially all changed on that moment in time. That was the point when the game completely flipped. Acting like we weren't the better side before that is just wrong. Sorry, it is. United were the better side up through that penalty miss. And then from then on, it was crap. So the point I try to make is like, you can say that it's the system. You can say that it's this. You can say that it's that. You can say it's whatever you want. United were the better side for 40, 45 minutes. And then they just completely lost it. And a huge part of it was players just fucking around. And when your leader is letting you down, the captain on the pitch is letting you down. When the captain on the pitch is throwing the ball away, when the captain's missing penalties, when he's not really working that hard defensively, Casemiro gets a yellow for diving and then starts preloading slides again. I'm just pissed with those players. Casemiro was subbed for a good reason. I'm just pissed with it. And they're Amorim's players now. But no, I don't see it as there's two things that are there's three things that I would say are the manager's fault. There's three things that determine whether a manager is going to be successful or not, and that they're responsible for. One is their system. Saying it's the system, you don't know. You don't actually know. Too many people talking about the system without actually knowing. The second is picking the team. Today, he got it wrong on that. He got it very, very wrong on that, right? That's my biggest concern. My biggest concern is the blind spot on that. But he started the team correctly because we started off correctly. We went, created chances, should have scored goals, all of that. And the third team is you still have to get your players to perform. You have to get your ideas through to them. You have to get them playing well. It's still on the manager if players don't play well and they keep not playing well. Too many times, I think people go off on the system point when it's the second two issues, when it's the second two problems. Wrong personnel and not getting the players to perform up to the standards that they should be. Today, the system, how it was set up, created the chances to win the game in the beginning and got the team to a point where it should be winning. And then they don't. And then they play shit, and then then it's bad subs, and then it's all sorts of crap like that. There's too many, I don't know. It's too many armchair managements on the tactics side of things. People always think they know it's the best system and what's the worst system, and this system's good. And people said Ten Hag's system was the best. Maybe it was. Doesn't matter. He couldn't get through to the players. He couldn't get players to play, and he couldn't build a team, and he couldn't pick the right team. We're seeing, unfortunately, the same problems right now, in my opinion. That's the worry. That's my worry. Alex Iwobi, we knew that we would be able to get behind their two midfielders. How? How were they going to get behind their two midfielders? You take something at face value. Why did he know they could get behind the two midfielders? Because it's Bruno and Casemiro. Because they have the defensive awareness of donkeys and were awful today. They still didn't get behind them for 40 minutes, mind you. They did it beyond that. They kept catching Bruno out. It was not because they played 3 versus 2. It was because they kept catching them. No, that's because that's not an answer. That's not an answer. You don't understand what he's saying. They baited the midfield to come up and then went behind the midfield. Because the CBs have to step up their space. They didn't get behind us, though. They didn't get in behind. Like, that's not what they did to win the game. Like, this is, again, people take a comment from somebody. They don't understand what they're actually saying. They didn't get in behind us. They weren't like running through on goal. They kept pushing us deeper and deeper and deeper. They were getting out wide and pushing. The midfield pockets are a problem. The midfield pockets are a problem. There's no doubt about it because they're incredibly slow. They pinned they pinged the wingbacks. Exactly correct. They did pin the wingbacks back. And our midfield had absolutely no energy to run and do anything. It sucks. It's really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Today was bad. Today was bad. Today was very worrisome. Let's do some calls. I'm going to prioritize again people with your with video, but let's do some calls. There was a lot of things I really didn't like today about what went on, which are on the manager. But again, I just don't do the thing that think it's like always a system issue. I'm not going to do a ton of calls today, but we'll do some, see how, what get people to share their thoughts. I'm going to send you the link here in a sec. But again, I'm going to prioritize people who have a camera today and do some, but I'm not going to take forever on it today. But yeah, all the positives from game 1 to me, unfortunately, are gone. All right, Parth, you ready?
Hey, James. Sorry, just a second. Yeah. Terrible game. I was happy with the game that I saw against Arsenal, but that performance had to continue. No excuses now. You're training. You have a preseason. The worst part about today was we were not chasing 2 goals when that midfield was Mount and Bruno.
Yeah.
I understand putting 8 attackers on when you're chasing 2 goals and trying to create chaos. That was way too early to put something like Mount and Bruno. That's never going to work.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
The top managers understand when the captain doesn't work. Jurgen Klopp has taken Mohamed Salah off a million times. Kevin De Bruyne has been taken off by Pep Guardiola a million times. I understand you don't want to sell him. Fair. That's your way of playing. Understand, I'm not going in on him as a reaction of service person and all that. I would understand if they sell him though at this stage, but you need to see what is working and what is not, and that's the way. System is fine, everything is fine, like it would work. That's not the problem. The thing is, you need to see there are games when that will work, there are games when it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Against Burnley, I wouldn't be surprised if Bruno and Casemiro have a brilliant game, because they are not going to come against you that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on this point. It's like, to me, it's like there's games where you're going to have players in that are not performing well. And it's like, I think it is a serious issue, the inability that Bruno has to be there every single game, all game from top to bottom. He has to. He should have been subbed off at halftime. If you had put Mainu and Ugarte on at halftime, I think we win that game. Honestly, because it's like some games a player is going to perform poorly. You have to be able to make a change. Plenty of coaches change their best players, bring off De Bruyne or bring off Haaland or they do it all the time.
All the top coaches do. All the top coaches do. In fact, the coaches who don't do it are the ones that get the sack. So that's worrying to me. Honestly, that momentum needed to continue. We've got tough games, man. We've got tough games. Burnley, then we have City and Chelsea coming on. It's high time. Fulham was a must win. There's no
I
doubt
know.
about it. It had to win it. And now that makes the Arsenal game look like a one-off when they just sat back, and that has happened plenty
Yeah,
of times. So yeah, it's terrible. It's what it
it
is. We
is.
need a
It
goal.
is.
Yeah,
We do. Goddamn. All right. Thank you, Parth. Appreciate it.
thanks, man.
All right, Mo, you ready? How you? Ooh, wait, there you go. How you doing?
How you doing, James? You alright?
Yes, yes. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm very angry with Amber in this game, and the reason I'm angry is because, for me, obviously, we can blame it on Bruno or whatever, but for me, when we look at how us playing good, say in the first half or against Arsenal, to me, we're not really playing good. We're fitter and we have better players, but we're not actually doing things that us like supposed to be done as a team. Like we're not
Mm,
creating chances as a team. We're not doing things that we're supposed to be doing. And when you look at the way teams play against us here, it's so easy to just bypass us and like on the ball when we're trying to build up and these certain things it's just so inadequate. It's like we don't know what
mm,
we're doing, or we know what we're trying to do, but it's like if you watch us build up, it's everything is so difficult, everything it has to be so hard. It's like, to me, that's on the manager, that's not on the players. For me,
mm.
when you're passing the ball around from the centre backs to the wing back, and then the wing back has to blast it into the one of the tens, it's like that's everything has to be so perfect for it to work out. And it's like, to me, that's just not the signs of a good manager. It's like, honestly, that's really what I
It,
gotta
it
say.
it didn't look like that today, which was really frustrating. That I said it felt like I was saying during the watch along match as well that like it felt like they had to be extremely. They were so careful about every pass, so careful about every decision that even down to things like I saw where there were so many times that they had the ball with space in front of them, just not running into it, not just carrying the ball forward, and it was like it's weird because it didn't look like that last week, and it's not supposed to be that difficult. Again, it's on a manager to implement those types of things. But I do see exactly what you're saying today on that, because it was very frustrating. Very often, it felt like everything had to be so exactly right, like the exact pass had to be on at the exact moment and the exact thing and all of that. And it just looked bad.
Yeah.
It just looked bad.
Yeah, to me, it's been like this for me since last season. And even when I say, like, when people say we're playing good against Arsenal and whatnot, we don't actually create chances. Where are the cutbacks? Where are the simple, easy chances? Like, even against Arsenal, the chances we created were all half chances. We didn't actually create any proper chances.
Mm,
The one today where Bender
yep.
booted it to Cunha, that's not a real chance. That's something that happens every once in a while. We don't actually create repeatable things that are supposed to be happening on the pitch. Like, it just doesn't happen. And for me, that's just on the manager. Like, I can't. Like, I'm a defender of Amarim. I really like him. I like the way he speaks. I like the culture he's building, but it's just not good enough for me, honestly.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. One of the biggest frustrations I have, where I still, it's on the manager. It's also, like I say, that's why I bring it back to players like Bruno and things like that too. I feel like we're always going for the instant goal, the instant attack, and so there's many times I'm saying, why can't we just settle the game down, get the possession in their half, control the ball there, and start getting some of those basic attacking third movements and things like that make it work. But instead, it's like it goes to the middle and it's like instant launch down straight into the channel over and over. There was a point, even with the keeper, like I know By India made that one, but then there was like 6 times in a row it went back to him. Where was the slower buildup from before that we saw last week? Even some of the early parts that worked. Instead, we abandoned it and just started launching it every single time. It just
Yeah.
straight down, like we were going to get in behind in one pass. I don't know. I don't know why that is, and I don't like it, and we can't keep doing that.
To me, the way I see it is that I feel like Amorim, he found a formula in Portugal and it worked for him early on, and I feel like he stuck to that. And now it's got to a point where he needs to adjust and he needs to change certain things. But it just feels like when we're passing around, it just feels we're outnumbered all the time. It's like we don't have the extra players, we don't have the numerical advantages that teams have against us. It doesn't sit right with me, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And look, to me, I look at it like I don't do manager in out thing within before they've been 12 months into the job. It just doesn't make sense to me to do that, because we've done it before and then we think it's going to be better and then it gets worse.
Yeah,
Like I remember when Solskjaer came in and we were like, he won like his first 8 games and everybody's like, give him a contract, and then it went
yeah,
real bad by the end of the season. But we've done all these things before. But it has to change. Something has to change, because
yeah.
it's
No,
either
no.
like his idea has to really take and produce, there's no more goodwill left.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even with me today, it's like today was a must win.
It was bad. Yeah, it was very bad.
I can excuse certain aspects that we should have been up 2-3 goals in the first half. I can look at that and say that should have happened. There's not much you can do about that. But there was a lot of mistakes beyond that point in time. From 40 minutes on and halftime on, he got it wrong as well for me today in terms of fixing the issues that we were seeing. So
I agree. No
yeah,
worries.
thanks, Mo. Appreciate it, buddy. All right, Hamza, how you doing?
Hey, James. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on? What do you think?
Oh my God, that was horrible. I think the midfield let us down. I think like Ruben's system is having two athletic midfielders who can get up and down, who don't have to do much, and we're doing the opposite with Bruno and Casemiro. I think Casemiro. I think from that first season Ruben was there, I think he should have just not adapted to Casemiro. I think just keep him out. You know what I mean? Like
it's confusing to me, right? Because I feel like Ruben's system was two hardworking midfielders that can carry the ball. They can move into the spaces, they can bring it, they can duel, they can carry. And then it's like he switched it for Casemiro, and now
and
it
then he
sucks.
switched it for Bruno. And now he switched it for Bruno too. And I was like, oh my God! Like he did the slide tackle. He slid tackle for 10 meters on the floor, and everyone saw it happening. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, to be honest, like I think we looked good against Arsenal, but I think it only works because Arsenal give you a lot of space. So Casemiro has that ability, you know, to make those like long balls and etc. But the problem with it's the mid. Like I know you disagree with it, like to a lesser extent, but I think the midfield is what like wins and loses games for all systems, not just like Rubens etc. And for this system especially, like you need midfielders who you know can win their duels, who can drive the ball. You know, when Bruno and Casemiro have the ball, it's like the only thing they could do is pass out of it, like you know. So one thing also is like obviously I love Kobe Mano, etc. And to be honest, I think it's still early. You know what I mean? It's 1 game, 2 games, so it's not a problem. But if Kobe can't get on in this game,
Oh, I lost you, Hamza. I think I know where you're going with that, but I agree.
I don't know. Is it there?
No, it's gone. It's gone. You might have to try to yeah, it's gone. I'm gonna have to. Oh, there you go. You're back now. Yeah, it's very staticky though, but so it might not be okay. But try again. Try to talk one more time, and we'll see if we can keep it going. You were saying about Kobe Manu.
I don't know. I think it cut, bro.
There you
go. But thank you for that. I just hope you know midfield can be reinvested in. I love Bruno. I hope I don't know if he wants to go to Saudi or not, but maybe we can fix that midfield. But thank you, James. Next time. Hopefully.
Thank you. Oh, good. Oh, good. All right, Mac, my friend. How are we?
Hey, James, how are you, man?
Good. Not good, but yeah, it's a natural response to say good. Not good. I
want to get your opinion on something.
Yeah.
Did you notice that I felt that in the first 10, 15 minutes, Amram's system was working. The players knew what they're doing. Someone said earlier, just now said, we didn't create open chances, but that turn from Mount off to Cunha when Cunha hit the post, that was a chance that we created. We did create, but after the penalty, like last year, our players seem to have this mentality of climbing into a shell.
Yeah.
They don't have the BMT to get out of their slump and put forward. And now everybody's saying Amram's system doesn't work. I see it totally differently. There's a mentality problem at the club.
Yeah.
There's a total mentality problem at the club where the players seem to don't have the balls to take the scruff of the neck and say, okay, we missed a chance, carry on. Because I noticed Shaw and De Ligt and everyone were dropping deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And then it was passive.
Very passive,
Table tennis passing to each other.
Yeah.
And that's why Mount went missing for a while, because Cunha was dropping into his positions to collect the ball.
Yeah.
So how do we get this into our players' minds to get beyond that?
I don't know, and that's the part that worries me is why does this keep happening? Like I said, I completely agree with you. I thought that it got extremely passive from the 40th, 35, 40 minutes on. They were so passive. I was sitting there saying, why do we keep just constantly pass backwards, easy pass. There'd be yards of space in front of like Shaw or in front of Lenny or someone. And instead of busting a gut forward and taking it on with aggression, they just stop. Tap. And like you said, back and forth between the center backs when they had acres of space in front of them. And it's like they're scared. They play scared again. And the thing that bothers me about that is there's that with regards to the manager. There's also that with regards to the leadership on the pitch. A big problem in that, to me, that's why I'm gone off on this one on Bruno. You're the leader on the pitch. What are you doing? You set the tone for the entire team. When you look like morose, he looked like, I don't know what even the word for it was, but he looked down all game. Like it was always like, and like more than ever. And there wasn't even like a fire in it. It was just like going to ground easily. Like, that's too bad. Like there was nothing in it from a mentality standpoint to keep him going from the moment of really from that penalty onwards. And it was not great before that from him for what it's worth. But from that moment onwards, it was really bad. And I go, I agree on the sense of the mentality aspect and say, why do they get so passive, so slow, so like scared at a certain point in the game and they can't get back? They can't get it back. Where's the leadership on the pitch to move players and to do things? I watched, and people are going to hate this. I watched Manu Ugarte come on and instruct more players in the final minutes of defending than I saw from Bruno in the game or from anybody else. And it bothers me. It's like, that shouldn't be like this. Casemiro looked like, again, he was completely checked out of the game from the beginning. He looked completely checked out again. I don't get it. I don't. And it's very, very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating.
And what I don't understand is, and I love Manu. And I've seen people complain because we brought Ugarte on and they said we should have brought Manu on. Okay, yes, Manu can control the ball and keep the ball in that. But we were getting run through in the midfield. Manu's not going to get the ball.
Yeah.
They were complaining that they get behind our midfield. Manu was going to get bypassed like that as well, especially with Bruno with his lip on the floor.
Yeah. It should have been for Bruno, right? Like if Manu's coming on, it should have been for Bruno. It should have been Manu Ugarte at halftime, honestly. If we were really managing this game with some balls from the manager, and it starts with him too, he should have put Ugarte and Manu on at halftime for that midfield. And that's what should have happened, right?
James, do you think because of last week's episode with Bayern against Arsenal, the club has now gone to get Lamens? Do you think maybe now with this episode with the midfield, they might go in for a midfielder?
They've been looking. They're still looking. They're still looking as of yesterday.
Because if we don't have a midfield, Amram is...
My biggest concern with it is that like for like who, you know what I mean? Like we could add a midfielder, and if we added a midfielder, I would still prefer our midfield to be whoever we sign plus Ugarte and Manu as our three main midfielders. You know what I mean? Because I'm really just not liking it from Bruno at this point. He hasn't shown that he can do anything in this right now, and it's just weird. It's throwing me, but it's like I would seriously consider the sale if he wants to go to Saudi because his head's not there and it's already 2 games.
You think his eyes have already been turned?
Maybe. I mean, Saudi think it's serious, but that's why I said it in mid-game. I was like, what is this? He looks like he's not here.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my immediate reaction would be sell Bruno. If he wants to move, let him go.
Saudi, give us
and invest it.
Give us 90 million. You can have him.
Yeah. Give it 90 million, 100 million. You can take him. Go put that money on, Ederson and Wharton or something. Just throw the money at 2 players to come in and help the team right now. You can replace it and get something different. So that I'm right now. That's what I feel like I would do because I'm upset.
That's tough.
I'm upset. I am upset. Yeah.
Anyway,
thank you, Mac. Appreciate it, buddy.
Mate. Bye.
See ya. Why you here? You good? How you doing?
I'm I'm upset. I'm
Yeah.
frustrated. You know what? As much as United fans, we have a lot of various differences. I felt like last weekend, majority of the fan base was united, whether people liked Cameron or not. Everyone was relatively happy about the performance we had against Arsenal. Granted, because we played phenomenal. The thing
Yeah.
is, and this is the problem I have with Amarin, it's like the feel good factor for the club is massive. It's so important. So
Mm,
you have to carry it on to the next game. It doesn't matter what people say. Everyone was saying the same thing, whether it was rival fans, whether it's the media. Everyone's like, oh my God, United actually played well. Everyone was united. Everyone was looking forward to this game. We played well for the first 10, 15 minutes. As a manager at this highest level, I expect my manager to see things that I don't see as a fan.
hmm.
And the
Yeah.
thing is, like, we see, yeah, Bruno Fernandes today, something is simply not right. Whether you love Bruno or whether everyone can see that. Everyone is coming to the same conclusion. We're
Yeah.
saying the same thing. Yet, I, my manager doesn't see it. And
I
that's
agree.
the
I agree.
frustrating part. Is like, it's not even and I get it. Like the thing about the whole Mano situation is like, we're looking at Manu. A lot of people are looking at Manu because a lot of people searching for answers because we're
Yeah.
seeing, hey, something has to change. What can we possibly do to change it? Maybe Manu, maybe he's a possibility. But then towards the end of the game, he brings out two defenders. I, I don't get it.
Yeah.
He played with Mott and Bruno as a midfield too. And I'm like, again, I just don't understand. I don't like, again, I do want to get away from Casemiro, but like you're playing with a midfield too, and if Bruno Fernandes is this bad, what do you expect from Casemiro? We're playing with a midfield
That's true
too.
too. Yes. Yeah.
So and
Yeah.
like so I just for me I'm like, and the thing is like Ogate has not had the greatest career so far at United. He's been having it rough. Everyone has different opinions about Ogate. But like then you bring on Ogate in in this game where the momentum is already shifted to Fulham. So like if people are already like the way people see the game is if Fulham is in the ascendant, then a lot of people are gonna miss the good things that Ogate do unless you like
Yeah.
really focus on it. So
Sure. Yeah.
I just didn't like the way he managed this game, Amarin. And the thing is like again, they pan out to him. He looks like upset. And I'm like, you're upset, but do something about it.
Yeah.
And it's like he's not. And that's the thing about Amrin. I don't know. And I'm just so worried. I'm so worried about Sesko. Like I get it why he didn't start this game today. But again, he came on. I thought he did good in terms of his link up play. But
Yeah. I
just
think so too.
no,
Yeah.
but there's nothing they like no, you're not feeding Sesko. He's a new signing. He's new to the league. It's like I'm so worried about players like Sesko because I've seen us what happened with Rasmus Højlund. I seen it happen, and
Yeah.
I'm just worried. I'm really worried. And this is a game we had to win, and we could have won the game, but it just seems like for whatever reason there was decisions that were made today from both the players and the manager that resulted in us hanging on to a 1-1 draw. So that's just how I feel about it. I'm just worried. We're going to Burnley. Now is a must-win game. The schedule is not favorable to the United in in general. So yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely worrisome. And look, I agree with you. It's like you said, we can all see it when something's wrong, like with Bruno today. I think everybody could see it, honestly. I think there's some people who don't want to criticize Bruno. That's fine, but it was all obvious on his face that something was wrong and something wasn't working. And when he misses that pen, I would have brought him off at halftime. And it is frustrating that it's like, and the thing with the Cubby situation that does irritate me a bit is that, and I had this opinion last year too. I'm good with the idea Cubbies can be Bruno's replacement. However, at the same time, then he's got to have a chance to replace Bruno. And last year, some of the best games we played, still, I think the best game we played was against Liverpool at Anfield. And it was Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield together as a pairing against a very, very strong Liverpool midfield, Gravenberch, McAllister, in there. And they were able to go toe-to-toe with them because they have a lot. I always see there's just something more balanced about the way that they play and they cover the spaces and things like that. Bruno had a good game too, but it was from further up. And I don't know, man. It's worrisome. When we started summer, I thought we would keep Bruno in the 10. We get a striker and a 10, and we go with Ugarte and Mainoo for the season. We've seemed to have shifted. I don't know if it's to accommodate Casemiro. I don't know what it's to accommodate, but it's bad. It's bad. It's concerning. It is concerning. I've that game concerns me, and when I look at that, the inability to make the change makes it a manager problem. So thank you for that, YU. Anybody else who wants to join with a camera? I saw a Sobi a bit ago, but anybody else who wants to join who has a camera come in? I'll post it again. Anybody who has a camera come in, because I want to prioritize that, and then I might just add a couple people and then we'll go from there. Ugarte wins more headers than Casemiro and Bruno did. Ugarte is a good header of the ball, actually. Again, there's things people don't like, but yeah. Maddie. All right, Maddie, you ready? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. What's up?
I do not understand how we win that in that first half. The second half shouldn't be an issue. I mean, couldn't hit the post. That's unlucky. The shot over the bar was a decent attempt. The penalty, 1-on-1, I think he should score that. A keeper just makes himself big. Bruno, I think this is what I said last week. I think this is Bruno out of position, being frustrated. It's not his position, doing more things, and his head's just all over the place. And we've seen it with Bruno before. The second we that penalty, I went, he's gone now in this game.
Yeah,
and it's not.
I think the fact that he missed a penalty showed he was gone, you know what I mean? Like, because he shouldn't miss his penalty.
No,
and not just in the manner. Like, he didn't even get it on goal.
No.
If
the keeper guesses and makes a great save, but if that was in my garden more than in the back of the net, that one.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on with him. Obviously, people now go probably online speculation going to be saying things like maybe they are siding when he's the timing of it. But I just think it's classic Bruno. He's out of position. He has to do a lot more than he's comfortable with, because Bruno's better when he's just edge of box, trying things off the cuff. How many look at the stats he has? How many chances he's created over the course of the last few years? That's where he's best at. And I'm not saying that Mail's the answer, but him and Casemiro certainly ain't the answer. I mean, I watched Casemiro. Casemiro did that thing he did last year a lot, where he knows he can't get, so he dives in because I've got to try something here. And it's like, I know what you're trying to do, Casemiro, but it comes with lazy defending. It's like, I can't track him, so I'm going to try and a Hail Mary to get the ball and flick it away. But it's just, I will back on him a little bit by saying the team should just, I think he's right when they said they got the goal and they can see that shift mentality. They went, okay, we got the goal, because they were scared what would happen. And how many times do United do that and they don't win the game? But he's got. I've said it before. I don't want to say it. Unless they change the midfield, it's going to kill him, because that midfield's not going to work. It's all right having the great forwards who can more clinical. Maybe they all can more clinical. But if that midfield isn't fixed, it's going to kill him. The keeper, maybe you can get away with it. Maybe keepers can get away with it a little bit if you're scoring 3 goals a game. But that midfield with Casemiro and Bruno, if he sticks with it, which is what he's going to do, could be. I'm not saying it'll get sacked for good, but I think that midfield will kill him.
Yeah, I think he will because of that. I think he will, honestly. Like, I remember talking the week leading up to the Europa League final, and I said there was 3 things. Don't do 3 things.
Mm.
And the 3 things were you can't play Rasmus Højlund because he was in awful, horrific
Yeah.
form, right? Couldn't
Period.
score a goal no matter. You could give him 3 games, he wouldn't score. Don't play Mazraoui at right wing back because he's not good there either. You need more attack on the pitch at that time. And the third thing was don't play the Bruno Casemiro midfield. And unfortunately, it feels like I really like Amram. I think there's things that he's done right. I think there's a lot of good ideas that he has. My biggest concern is that he somehow married his season to this Bruno Casemiro midfield as a selection. I didn't think we would start the season with it. I thought we would run even Ugarte Bruno to start games, and then Mainu would come on and Bruno would move up, and you'd get a lot of shift and adjustments. But the fact that like we just can't get this right is really, really worrisome because it's not even his idea. And that's what worries me most of all.
Yeah.
This isn't even how he's coached for years. It's not how he's coached. He's never coached with 2 midfielders that can't move. And defensively, they have to be really good. That's the biggest thing. I've said that Kobbie's probably not playing because of his defensive work, which I think has truth. Bruno's worse right now.
Yeah,
He's not
Bruno's-
doing anything out of possession, and neither is Casemiro. So it's like, well, what's the point then? But it is really odd because this whole system is pretty much always been ultra reliant on these 2 midfielders being
2 dogs in that midfield.
really good hard workers who complement each other. We have the exact opposite now. Like we went for passing, and it's gotten way worse since going for passing than possession.
Yeah, I think if he's gonna, he's not going. If Bruno says he's not going to drop Bruno, is it? So that's not going to happen.
Probably
All right, switch out Casemiro and put Ugarte in there. Then I'm not saying Bruno's better, but at least he'll say, "Oh, Bruno's going to. I can get across there and get that."
Yeah,
that'd be better. But I just don't understand why Casemiro's playing, because if someone came in tomorrow morning with 40 million, he'd go bye. He'd be gone. So it makes no sense, and he needs. And my worry is what's going to happen now is got Grimsby and Burnley. He'll win those 2 games at midfield, and I'm worried it's going to reinforce that negative style.
Yeah.
And a part of me is like, I don't want United to lose ever, of course, but if what's happened for him to realize that yes, he tried it, it's going to work. I mean, what has happened? Does he need to get battered by City or Chelsea for it to realize?
I thought we'd learn from the Europa final, honestly.
Yeah,
like it baffled me that we did the whole Europa League with Ugarte. Even Ugarte Casemiro is a better midfield because at least there's some balance in it. And why did we do that? Yeah, why did we do that and then change it for the final? And it didn't work, and now we've stuck with it. I don't understand. It's like, did Emram get caught up in all the stupid online memes of like, Unk still got it and all of that about Casemiro? Because he doesn't. Unk does not still have it. He's finished. He's finished. He can't do it, man.
He needs. I don't know what he needs to change, but I don't think he will. I think it's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Unless
I'm worried about that too. Yeah.
The only thing I think could save it is if, God forbid, Casemiro gets a serious injury and he can't play him anymore, and he's forced into it.
I know.
I don't really think he'll change it, but
it worries me. He should have seen it by now.
The only thing I've got hope for is that the chance that we start putting them more away, because that might mitigate it a bit. But
but they were bad even when we were creating chances. That's the worry that I have. That's the worry. I honestly think, I know it's not perfect. I know it's not great. I know it's not everything. But I honestly do think if we played Ugarte Mainu in the midfield every game, we would be better. With the rest of the team that we have, we would just be better every single game.
Yeah, just more legs. He needs legs in that midfield, and Bruno's got the legs
and quality. I know Kobbie has things he's not as great at, but I would much rather Kobbie keeping the ball, carrying, holding on to it than constantly the giveaways there from in all of that.
Because Manu has shown that when he gets mega people, he can turn a player and beat a man easily. It's like, okay, I'm not perfect at it. I'm really what I do, but I get the ball, I can turn a defender and win a free kick for you, rather than just get the ball and get bullied off it, like Casemiro or Bruno get to at a minute. But that midfield's going to be a killer for me if you don't change it. But I don't think he will.
Yeah, thank you, Matty. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, Fistnik, you hear him? All right, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, man, how's it going?
All right.
Okay.
How you feeling?
Don't even start me on that. Actually, I came on with 2, maybe 3 questions for you, because I'm watching you a lot lately. So you're like one of the main informations about Man United and
Sure.
stuff like that. So the first question is, how is it possible? First of all, do you think we or Tottenham had a better transfer window?
I think we did, as up till
Mhm.
now. Yeah, I would think in terms of the play. Yeah, I agree. I think we did. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so explain to me this. Forget about the results. Okay, results
Yeah.
can mean whatever. Actually, neither us or Tottenham are for a title race. Maybe Tottenham, who knows? But game wise, game flow, game wise, because I watched Tottenham's game today, right? Today or
Yesterday. Yeah.
yesterday. Yeah. So how is it possible that Thomas Frank can maybe implement or something like that, implement his style of play better than Ruben, who did almost 12 months now, right?
Yeah.
10,
Right.
10 months?
9 months. Yeah.
9 months. 9 months in.
Yep.
So my question to you is, how is it possible that Thomas Frank can make a team play good? I mean, we didn't play good, but as you said,
Yeah.
after the penalty, everything went to not to
Yeah.
shit.
It's a good question. It's a good question. For one, I think that Thomas Frank's a very good manager too, for what it's worth. I wanted him to replace Ten Hag a year and a half ago. I think he's a really good manager. Thomas Frank there's two things that I say to this that are, one of them is almost unbelievable. Tottenham have continuity in the way that they've recruited for a long time because they've had the same person at the helm for a long time, right? So they've built a team that does play a certain way, even though it's never really won anything. It's got a lot of they have a lot
They won the Euro.
of besides the Europa League, they've now won that. They beat us in it. They do have a better built team than us in over the course of history, right? They've played a certain way, a certain style for a long time. We saw with Pochettino way back. Same guys recruiting, same guys involved. They built a team under Pochettino, became a very direct, very attacking team under him, and kind of grew up that way. And they've continued to play essentially that way. Last year, with Postecoglou, I think Postecoglou was really bad at setting up a team to defend, which is why they sacked him. Frank's a lot better at that. He's more pragmatic. He's definitely just will set up a team to play pragmatic and then play very fast, direct in attack. So, that's essentially my answer to it. They have a longer history, somehow, of building a team that has cohesive parts than we do.
Okay, sweet. So second question is if I can. You're a coach, right?
I've done some at the
You've
youth
done
level,
coaching,
nothing major. Yeah.
Well, I'm a coach as well, but I coach rugby. I don't coach football.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So in both of our sports, the captain is like a second coach in the field, right?
Yep.
And our captain is Bruno. Okay, besides losing the penalty, it's not the first time happening. It happened before even in United and other teams. So my question is, how can Ruben allow Bruno to play not after the penalty? Okay, penalties, as I said before, you can miss them. It's normal.
Yep.
It's normal, even
happens,
though
yeah.
the whole team should have supported him. But my question is, how can he allow Bruno to play at the second half the way he played? And there was a call before. He said, "Why not play Kobe?" Kobe is like, give or take, the same position as Bruno, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So if Bruno is playing a 6 or a 5.5 rated game, what's the worst that Kobe can do?
I agree with you. I don't have an answer to it. To me, that's why it's the biggest mistake. Your captain, if he's not putting up a game, you have to be able to take him off because it sets the tone for the team that's on the pitch. Like you say, they're the second coach. And if they're not in it, it's going to have a drag down effect on the rest of the team as well. And there's no reason that he shouldn't change it.
Yes, and then he goes on and removes Mason Mount. Mason Mount arguably was one of the best of that midfield triangle we have. So that's my point. I mean, like it's either Ruben or Bruno that needs to leave.
Yeah. I tend to agree because it's not working. And if they're married together, they're both going to leave.
my vote is on Bruno because, I mean, as you said some days before, don't just look at the stats. Look at even one guy yesterday made the comparison to Russell Westbrook. Stats patter. I mean, besides stats padding, besides everything, every game, me and my brother, because we analyze the game at home. Every game we go on and say, what would happen if Bruno wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember at Ten Hag era, there
Yep.
were a few games that Bruno didn't play. We actually looked as a team.
I know.
So my final question for you is, what happens now? What's next?
I don't know. Because somebody's gonna have to wake up to it, and I would say that even the two questions are for Ruben: do they push to try and sell or get another midfielder in, or are you willing to just drop the player once in a while and make a change? And one of the things has to happen. I don't think that decision's been made, but something has to.
We know from his pre-match interview. We know that because Ruben has this weak thing that I don't like. He's too honest on pre-match interviews and post-match interviews. And when he was asked about Jadon and Rasmus, he answered like, "You need to ask Jason Wilcox."
Yeah, about the contract. Yeah.
So I don't think he has the vote for Bruno. And I think, as you said, I think they have this freaky love relationship that it's a bit unexplainable.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, when you look at his comments today, he's essentially still saying Cobby's competing with Bruno. Fine, but then Mainu should be getting in over him because Bruno's been shit. So if it's actually a fair competition, then be willing to make a change.
Well, we have the game against Grimsby on the week, right?
Yeah, I think we'll see Ugarte Mainu there. Hopefully it performs well and we put this Bruno Casemiro thing to bed, honestly.
Okay, see you.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
See ya.
Yep, have a good one. All right, I got a time for one more. Let's go, Joey. What's going on?
Hey, you there?
Yes.
So, I guess Bruno seems to be like a little bit of a topic, right? So I guess we talk about him a little bit. But also, if you look at it, is this not on Wilcox and the people above? Because they went out and they spent $200 million on a new forward line with the intention of putting Bruno in the midfield next to a Casemiro. So I don't know if they plan on having more sales, more money to get that midfielder. But I just think that's poor planning on everybody there. I'm not an Amarim fanboy or anything like that. I kind of wash away for me last season. None of his players, new system.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I can do that too.
Yeah. So 2/3 of the forwards have started, right? Emblemo, Cunha, they played two games together. And if you look at it, Cunha could have had a hat trick in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So football's a game of fine margins. And I just think that it's unfair. Football's an emotional game. We all understand that. We all love United. We know what they were. We know what we want them to be. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time no matter what. And people saw the forward line. They go, oh, United finished 15th. They signed Cunha. They signed Emblemo. They signed Sesko. United are back. We're going to finish in the top 4, 5, 6. That's just not real. That's not reality. It's just not. Arsenal last week, Bayender made that mistake, but United looked great. And Arsenal is supposed to be a title-challenging team. Arteta's been there 5 years. They all know where to be, how to be, And even this week, Marco Silva's not a slouch. He's a good manager.
Yeah, he is. He's a tough manager, yeah.
And they finished above us last season. So it's like people just need to temper their expectations, I feel like. I don't know if I'm crazy in saying that. People were like, oh, he's lost all these games and everything, and I'm not seeing it. And look, the decisions are crazy sometimes, right? We don't understand them. But at the end of the day, we're kind of stuck with him, I think, financially too.
Yeah. Well, look, and I've got higher expectations, and mostly because I think there is an ability to put a team out that does a lot better than what we're seeing right now. And it's like you say, I agree with you on the sense of poor planning. And part of it is that I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that this is the midfield pairing that we've ended up almost becoming first choice. It shouldn't be. Even with the players that we have, there are multiple better, ways to put the team together. I look at it and I'm like, I get why Mount played, but what would I have done today? I would have put Bruno up in the front three and put Ugarte and Mainu in the midfield because it's just better than whatever this is. The Casemiro oversight is I think almost far worse than Bruno, because you can understand why a manager will pick Bruno Fernandes. You can understand why a team will want to pick Bruno. You can understand it when you look at how much productivity he's had and what he's been able to do and his capabilities. Casemiro's gone next summer no matter what. He's not a part of this long-term team. Why is he playing football? He doesn't offer what we need, and he there's no way around his inability to cover the gaps, the spaces, and to help. He's never going to provide the team with energy, and that's what the team lacks most of the time, in my opinion.
I don't know if he's trying to Jose Mourinho send a message like, "Hey, I need a midfielder," but like you said, you got Ugarte, you got Casemiro, you got guys that can at least run. Like, I feel like that's the bare minimum here. But you know, I'll wrap this up in a few here. I look at that team too, and I just think, how many of that team are really going to be there for the long haul, right? I don't think Bruno's going to be part of a title-winning team in that midfield. I think we agree there. Casemiro, we've already talked about. You know, you look at the lack of patience people have. You know, Dorgu, they might need a new left wing back eventually. You know, is he going to deliver? Right wing back, obviously Diego Dallo's. I'm not a fan of his at all. I think he's awful. I just think
he was a huge problem today when he came on.
Well,
that
touch he tried to take, like, that's,
and it's not the first time. Yeah,
no, it's not.
Correct. Yeah,
that's not.
Yeah.
And then I look at the back line, like, they were all right, and the goalkeeper, like, how many are really going to be here for a top 4 challenging team and a title-winning team? I don't think a lot. So I think you know, my message would be just give it a little bit of patience. You know, let's get Sesko starting from the start. Let's get Cunha and Emblemo some time together. Figure out the midfield. I think, like, there's going to be a lot of sales the next week and a half. I mean, we're talking Anthony, Sancho, you know, Garnacho, maybe Bruno, Højlund.
We'll see what else.
There's going to be some money there. They got to get a midfielder. They have to. They have to get a midfielder. But I appreciate you letting me on.
Thanks, Joey. Appreciate you, buddy.
Of course. Yeah, have a good one.
See you, man. Bye. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to end it there. It's been a long one, but yeah. Look, we'll see how we feel tomorrow about all of this. But at the moment, like I say, when you look at Arsenal, I thought it was a good performance. I can understand certain reasons, decisions that were made. Today looks like stubbornness that I don't like. Today, for me, looked like a manager who didn't get it. I can understand why Kobe wasn't brought on last week. Today, when Bruno, we have to be able to change when players aren't performing well. You know, and I can blame the players more because they play the game. They're the ones on the pitch. They're the ones not doing it. I always will do that. Doesn't matter. Then the coach has to be able to make those changes. And I am very irritated at the idea that Bruno or that Emram doesn't have the bravery to take those changes. I don't know why. The midfield decision in general, it should never be Bruno Casemiro. It really shouldn't be. It just can't work. Even for his own tactics, it's not right. That's the part that confused me. I'm concerned that he, like many managers before, come to United, compromise on their beliefs to fit something that doesn't make sense, and then it all goes to shit, and then they can't even stand up to it. You know, he can't be married to Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, or we're screwed. It's not going to work against most teams. They're too physical. They have too much energy. They run too much. It's just not going to work. Okay. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.